So let's talk a little bit about the one that Ken Holland was able to land in Ekholm. No question, the last few years, the modern day Kevin Lowe, right? Stay at home, mind the net, get a little dirty every once in a while. You must be loving watching him come to the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, I sure am. Yeah, in fact, I was, looking at his stats, and they're quite similar to my stats. Not a ton of offense, but enough that he's not just strictly a shutdown guy. He jumps up in the play, but 6'4", 215, and he plays a heavy game. He's been noticeable in the years that we've watched the Predators, and so that's a big piece. The Oilers really needed. They had puck movement on the back. Darnell Nurse has been carrying, more than the load on the shutdown part than he probably needed to. So just a great pickup for Kenny Holland. And the piece I really liked, Kyper, was that hearing Ekholm speak about the opportunity and come. And I mean, any player in the league to have a chance to play with McDavid and Draisaitl, and the Oilers are, got a chance to do some damage in the playoffs. It was nice to hear him, pumped to come to Edmonton.
Here in Toronto, we've been watching trades happen, and, we meet in the studio here once a day and go, is it enough? Is it enough? And Dubas keeps making moves. We go, is it enough? That's the question for the Oilers here. They look like pretty good D pairs on the back end, Nurse and Ceci, maybe Ekholm, Bouchard, Broberg, Kulak. Is it enough for their D-core or for their team in general, the Ekholm deal, to make you think that Ken Holland is done at the deadline?
Well, I don't know if he's done, but I would say the defense looks pretty good to me, and particularly because Broberg's really come along. I mean, if Broberg gets a chance to play with Ekholm, that's going to be massive. Broberg's a big kid. I mean, he's not filled out yet, but he's really, to me, he's got the potential to be, I don't want to say Hedman in Tampa, but, he's going to be the type of player who can play a lot of minutes, maybe Lindbaum in Boston right now. So, and then Darnell is a good shutdown guy. Bouchard's a really good power play. No, they have a little bit of everything. So I think they're fine on defense. But I know that Kenny Holland, I mean, it's never over till it's over, and he's already looking for some players. I think they need a little bit of grit on the bottom six. Costin has been a big addition. And, of course, when Vander Kane's back in the lineup, they do have more grit in the forward group. But if you were asking me, and I'm not making the decisions anymore, I like to see a little more grit and a little more experience in the bottom six.
Hey, Losey, when it comes to, like, Jack Campbell, there's no question, a lot of people have been disappointed with the consistency. And, yes, he's shown that he's been erratic in terms of his play. But what does, like, Ekholm do? What does restructuring a blue line do for goaltenders, especially the ones that play like Ekholm or you, in your day?
Well, I think it's a little less hectic in the D zone. You're seeing shots coming from where the goalie's expected, and not that our defense was completely porous, but when you think of Tyson Barrie, Tyson was playing great, by the way. I really like the way he played this year. But when you have Barrie and Bouchard in the same lineup, the Rangers came in here a couple of weeks ago. They got some big forwards. Our guys really had a tough time shutting them down in the D zone. A little too much offensive zone time in our end. And by having a guy like Ekholm, those guys can shut that down. So, but, relative to your point about Jack Campbell, like, it's amazing. I mean, in the last 12 games, I think he's lost one game in regulation. And yet, I think the knock on him right now is everyone's waiting for, when the game is 5-4 to make that last save like Grant Fuhr has. And I think he's going to be fine. I think, there's probably going to be a shared Skinner-Campbell tandem come playoff time. And I think with what we have offensively and adding Ekholm, that was a big addition. I think the Oilers are going to be able to make some damage, certainly in the West. Of course, the East looks pretty powerful right now, but those guys are going to beat each other up. You can imagine someone's going to lose between Tampa and Toronto, and I don't like the looks of that for either of those organizations because they've given up so much. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, and we'll see what happens.
You know, watching this Oilers team this year, I mean, for years, McDavid has been McDavid. He's been the best player in the NHL. This year, though, he's 25 points ahead of the next best player in terms of points. He's got 50 goals, and only 3 players in the league have limped over 40. That's the part I wanted to ask you about, is the goal scoring. What are you seeing that looks so different this year in terms of being able to be the league's best goal scorer, not just point getter?
Yeah, he's just getting better all the time. And the great ones do, you know. But I would say that probably Connor, and I haven't talked to him about it, but it seems pretty evident. I don't want to say he has a shoot-first mentality like goal scorers, but you can tell that he's not hesitating when he gets the opportunity. He's always been such a great playmaker and done that his whole life. But I think he realized now that teams recognize that. And you know, Wayne Gretzky did the same thing in his career. You know, teams were trying to take away Jari Kurri and take away Tikkanen, and then Gretz just took the advantage and put it in the back of the net, and I think that's what Connor's doing. And he can really shoot the puck. I mean, he's going to end up scoring probably 65 this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if he scores 70 in the years to come.
Losey, the other night when he did score his 49th and 50th goal, after the game, the one thing that I noticed is, you know, he didn't show the joy of a guy that hit a magic number of 50. And he certainly came across disappointed, first and foremost, for the loss, which totally I get. But I sensed more of it, to be honest with you. And I just wanted to get your thoughts and, you know, being in Edmonton and knowing Connor the way he is. But, you know, is there a part of him the other night that maybe gets a little frustrated that, you know, the team lost by a goal, he scored 2, and yet it still wasn't enough? And, you know, maybe a little frustrated at the thought that he does need to score 2 goals every night to keep the team in the game, or what? But I just noticed, man, that guy should have been happier hitting such an amazing milestone.
Yeah. Well, I did see him smile, which is what's going on here? Sorry.
No problem. Is that just the intensity of Connor McDavid?
Sorry, I was just getting an Alberta emergency alert in my AirPods. So
no, another trade maybe.
Yeah, trade. No. Let me touch on that. I mean, Connor, you know, Wayne was the same way. Wayne, you know, the records came and he was scoring all the time. It was great. He wanted to win a cup. The cup was the most important thing, and that's the way Connor is right now. I think he's having lots of fun. I think he sees the team is much better. Hey, that was a heck of a game against Boston. One little bad break. Both teams went toe-to-toe with each other, and I think, if anything, it showed that the Oilers are right there. Boston's the best team in the league right now, and it was a heck of a game. So I don't think he's frustrated. I think he'll be excited about this trade. And, you know, I know that the Oilers are going to have a good run in the playoffs. The West doesn't appear to be as difficult as the East. And, you know, once you get in, and guys like that take it to another level. They had the experience of last year, and that means a lot. And, I'm not around Connor a lot, but I do see him from time to time. And I think he's pretty comfortable the way things are and pretty confident in the group that he has.